let us use the same concept for question number 9. A gentleman decided to treat a few children in the following manner. He gives half his total stock and one extra to the first child. Then again, half the remaining stock and one extra to the second, and so on. His total stock exhausts after he takes care of 5 children. So, for example, if he has X, he gives half his stock and plus 1, and when you subtract this x minus x by 2 plus 1, then now after one round he is left with x by 2 minus 1, right? So now, for example, if we say that x is the stock left after the fourth child, then this is what he gives after the fourth child, then this is what he gives to the fifth child, because there are 5 children. And after the fifth child, what is he left with? X by 2 minus 1. X by 2 minus 1. And according to the question, after the fifth child, how much does he have left? His stock exhausts. If his stock exhausts, then x by 2 minus 1 is equal to 0, implies x is equal to 2. So how did we do this? Again, working backwards, and again add 1, multiply by 2. So I get the pattern add 1, multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. Right? So you have to spot the pattern of calculation and then work backwards in this type of question. So after 2, add 1, 3 and multiply by 2, that takes you to 6. Add 1, 7 and multiply by 2, takes you to 14. So we have a total of 5 children, so we have to do this process 5 times. So 2, then 6, then 14, add 1, 15, multiply by 2, that's equal to 30, and finally add 1, 31, multiply by 2, that's equal to 62. So your final answer turns out to be 6 to 62. And we have done this very, very quickly. It has not taken us time. So the challenge for this question was simply to be able to identify that, okay, this falls in the bottoms up category, and then to solve it. Yeah. That's it. That's question number 9. Let's move to the next set. You have 8 minutes. Set a timer of 8 minutes and you may begin. Alright, let's start with question number 10 after your timer is over. The owner of a local jewelry store hired 3 watchmen to guard his diamonds, but a thief still got in and stole some diamonds. On the way out, the thief met each watchman one at a time. To each he gave half the diamonds he had and 2 more, right? So again, x, to each he gave, so let's say to the first one, half the diamonds he had and 2 more. That means he will now be left with x minus x by 2 is x by 2, and then minus 2. He escaped with 1 diamond, right? Which means that once you do this process for the 3rd time, because there are 3 watchmen, he escaped with 1 diamond. So therefore, let's say if we are doing this process for the 3rd time, then he will be left with eventually 1 diamond. Solve and you get 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 into 2 is 6. X is equal to 6. So you get the pattern now. In this case, add 2, multiply by 2. Multiply by 2, right? So we started off with 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 into 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8, into 2 16, second watchman. 16 plus 2 is 18, into 2 36 is the 3rd watchman. The answer is 36. So this is the question that you could have done first. Then you could have done the 12th question, because again it is related to this particular kind of approach. A gentleman decided to treat a few children in the following manner. If you might be thinking that this is same as question number 9, no it is not. There is a difference. He gives half his stock and one extra to the first child, then half of the remaining and one extra to the second child, and so on. He continues. If he gave the fifth child 10 toffees, so now this does not tell us about how many are remaining with the gentleman. This tells us about the number of chocolates received by the fifth child, right? So what we do is that if you start out with x, then the first child gets x by 2, half his total stock and one extra. One extra आया. So leftover is x by 2 minus 1. Leftover कैसे आया? He had x and he gave away x by 2 plus 1. So he gets x by 2 minus 1. Now this is the first child. This is the first child. Let us consider the second child. Second child इधर आ जाएगा. Half, he gave away half, x by 2 minus 1. Half of what he had plus 1. So what do you get over here? X by 4 minus 1 by 2 plus 1 is plus 1 by 2. Let me check again. Minus 1 by 2 minus 0.5 plus 1 is plus 0.5. So now you are able to observe a pattern related to what the next child is getting, and that is that it is simply becoming half, right? This term x by 2 plus 1 को half कर दिया, तो x by 4 plus 1 by 2 आ गया, right? So this is the second child. Let me write down again for the second child. Okay, yeah, so we can continue like this, dot 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 dot. What would the fifth child get? What would the fifth child get? So you can do it on your fingers also. First child is x upon 2 power 1. Second child is x upon 2 power 2. So fifth child becomes x upon 2 to the power 5. Right? And then the constant you can check. First child is 1. Second child is half. Third child is 1 by 4. Fourth child is 1 by 8. Fifth child is 1 by 16. So you write a 1 by 16 over here. That's what the fifth child gets. And if he gave the fifth child 10 toffees, so this value is equal to 10, then how many toffees did he have initially? Find out the value of x. How many toffees did he have initially? Okay, so solve this equation for x and that is your answer. So x upon 32 is equal to 10 minus 1 upon 16. That's 160. 159 upon 16. 2 implies x is equal to 159 into 2. 318 is the right answer. 318. So what we realize is that the right approach towards efficient solving can save us a lot of time. Otherwise, it might take you much more time and you might not even be able to solve this question. And the last question that you should have done was question number 11. Now question number 11 should have been done right at the end. And a part of the problem is that it contains maxima minima, which generally tend to be a little more tricky with respect to an exam with time constraints. So a telecom service provider engages male and female operators for answering 1000 calls per day. A male operator can handle 40 calls per day. Female can handle 50 calls per day. Male and female operators get a fixed wage of 250 and 300 per day. Everything is per day. In addition, so what kind of cost is there? There's a fixed wage. In addition, the male operator gets rupees 15 per call that he answers, and female operator gets rupees 10 per call that she answers. So therefore, we now have a cost. For cost, let's say that there are male operators M, and each male operator is handling 40 calls per day. So therefore 40 M, 40 calls per day, and for each call a male operator is getting 15 rupees per call. Okay, M male operators, they can call 40 calls per day, they can make 40 calls per day, so 40 M, and per call cost is 15 rupees, and each male operator gets a fixed wage of 250 rupees. So male operators plus 250 M. There are M male operators, right? And a fixed wage of 250 becomes 250 M. Plus, now you have the female operators. Female operators can handle 50 calls per day. Number of females F. Cost per call is 10 rupees. Plus, each female gets a fixed wage of 300 rupees per day. So 300 into F for the females. This is our total cost. If you did not understand this, please listen to this again. So you now get 600, 15 into 40, 600 plus 250, 850 M plus 50, 500 F, 300 F is 800 F. This is a cost that has to be minimized. It is a cost that has to be minimized. Right? So when will it be minimized? Okay, not required. You have to now minimize this cost. 850M plus 800F. You have a larger coefficient, you have a smaller coefficient. Obviously, this will be minimized when your number of males are minimum and your number of females are maximum. Males are minimum and females are maximum. Right? Okay. How many male operators should the service provider employ, assuming that he has to employ more than 7 of the 12 female operators available for the job? More than 7 of the female operators available for the job. Okay. Now, you have among the options, obviously you will choose the smallest value because males you have to minimize. So we will now try the fourth option, 10 males. Let's write down the calls. 10 males, each male makes 40 calls per day, plus number of females I don't know. Each female makes 50 calls per day, and the total number of calls is 1000. Total calls to be made is 1000. Implies find out F. So 1000 minus 400 is 600. 600 divided by 50 becomes 12. One equation, one variable solving. The number of females is 12. It is a perfectly acceptable value of integer of females because it is an integer and it is part of your range of 7 out of the 12. So this makes it very simple that you have to minimize the number of males. Either you calculate it manually, but when I have options available, that's what I should be using. So a challenging question can therefore become a little more manageable, but this was a little tough because of maxima minima. Right? So you now have females 12. Let's go for the cost. 850. Males you have taken as 10 plus 800. Females you have taken as 12. Well, we don't need to calculate this actually. At this point, I think we are done because your cost will be minimum when males are minimum and females are maximum, right? In this equation, larger coefficient gets the smaller value m. Smaller coefficient will get the larger value. So I just put in the value of m as 10 and I checked out f. It is acceptable, so the fourth option is correct. There's nothing more to check over here. And this number, it's acceptable because it's a natural number, and it also lies within your range that the females should be 7 to 12. So now we don't need to find the cost at all. The minimum was going to happen when m is minimum, but we did not know what would be an acceptable value, minimum value for m. So I just used the options. F is acceptable, so therefore fourth is the right answer. No need to find out the cost. That's it. All right, let's go to the next slide. For these set of questions, you can put a timer of 9 minutes, which is the maximum that we will ever put, because you should be able to finish any question in maximum 3 minutes if that is worth doing in the exam. So now we start with question number 13. Shyam visited Ram during his brief vacation. In the mornings, they both would go for yoga. Evenings, they would play tennis. To have more fun, they indulge only in one activity per day. Per day, either yoga or tennis. Either yoga or tennis. And there were days when they were lazy and they stayed at home all day long. That means that either full day they did nothing or they did one activity. They did not do both the activities. There were 24 mornings when they did nothing. So let me say that total they were together for D days total. If 24 mornings they did nothing, that means D minus 24 mornings they did something. If 24 mornings they did nothing, that means D minus 24 mornings they did something. And of course that evening they did not do anything because only one activity per day. 14 evenings they stayed at home, means did nothing. So 14 evenings they did nothing, that means D minus 14 evenings they did something. So basically D minus 24 mornings they did something, D minus 14 evenings they did something. So total days on which they did something is in dono ka sum. And a total of 22 days when they did yoga or played tennis, which is basically that they did something. A total of 22 days. That's all. Solve for D. 24, 38, 58, 60. 2D is 60. D is equal to 30. That's the right answer. So, a seemingly difficult question. It was just a play of comprehension. 14th, a shopkeeper bought a total of 64 shirts that come in two sizes, small and large. Small shirts plus large shirts is equal to 64. Price of a small shirt was 50 rupees less than a large shirt. She paid a total of 5,000 for the large shirt. So let's say that price of large shirt is P, quantity is L, total is 5,000. Price of a small shirt is 50 less than large shirt, so therefore P minus 50. P minus 50. Small shirts are S and the total over here is rupees 1800 for small shirts. 1800. 3 equations, 3 variables, and you can solve. However, traditional solving over here will lead you to a quadratic equation and it will become lengthy for solving. So what I would do over here is that I would use the options. Then the price of a large shirt and a small shirt together is. Now what is price of large shirt? P. Small shirt P minus 50. That means all these prices that are given to you are for 2P minus 50. In the options, all the values that are given to you, price of a large shirt P and small shirt P minus 50, which is 2P minus 50 का value आपको दिया है among the options, and from there let us find P. So 150, so 2P minus 50 is 150, 150 plus 50 200, 200 upon 2 is 100, 225, 275 upon 2. What is 275 upon 2? 137.5. 175 plus 50, 225 upon 2, 112.5. 200 plus 50, 250 upon 2, 125. And obviously, if I am wanting to use the options, I'll start with the easy options first. So let me put 100 over here. If P is 100, then L becomes what? 50. 100 into 50 will be 5000. L becomes 50. Okay? And if P is 100, then this term now becomes 100 minus 50 is 50. And S becomes 1800 upon 50. 180 upon 5 is 36. This process is happening very quickly. I'm putting in more details for the purpose of your explanation. And then S plus L, you check 36 plus 50. Is this 64? No, it is not. So option A is gone. Option A is not satisfying all of the conditions, and this has taken a very short amount of time, whereas quadratic banana and usko solve karna will become very lengthy. Okay, let's check and hope that the next available easy option can give us the answer. Put 125 over here. 5000 upon 125 करिए. 125, 250, 500 4 times and 40 times. So L का value 40 हो गया. And 125 minus 50 is 75 over here. 1800 divided by 75 बनाइए. 1800 upon 75. 3 से गया 25, 3 से गया 600. 600 upon 25 is 24. So you get S as 24. 24 plus 40 is 64, and therefore D part is the right answer. D part is the right answer. So question 13 you should have done first. Question number 14 depends on what kind of approach you were following. Otherwise it would have become lengthy and you would have lost a lot of time. And now let us check out question number 15. Question 15 is very important. Let me erase the screen, start again. For a 4-digit number, let us say 4-digit number is A, B, C, D. Sum of its digits in the thousand, hundreds and tens positions. Thousands, sum of digits, thousands, hundreds and tens positions is 14. Sum of its digits in the hundreds, tens and units places. Hundreds, tens and units places is 15. And the tens place is 4 more than the units place. Tens place C is 4 more than D. Let's write it on the side. Then the highest possible 4-digit number satisfying the conditions is. Alright. Now over here what I'll do is that I'll just subtract both of these equations. But I'll get rid of some variables. So I'll take the second equation and from it I will subtract the first equation. For example, subtract B is cancelled out, C is cancelled out. Second equation you're left with D minus A is equal to 15 minus 14, that is 1. 15 minus 14, that is 1. highest possible 4-digit number satisfying the conditions. Okay. So now I get d minus a is 1 and I have the value of c from over here as d plus 4. And I want the largest possible number. Largest possible number will basically imply that a should be maximum. That's when you'll get largest possible number, right? So when can a be maximum? For example, 10 minus 9 is 1, but d cannot be 10. D is a single digit. So I go for 9 minus 8 is 1. Of course, I can go for 8 minus 7 also, right? 8 minus 7 is 1, but a का value बड़ा करना है, right? A का value 7 means 7,000 something. A का value 8 means 8,000 something. So I want a larger number, largest possible number. So D is 9, A is 8, and now comes a problem over here that C is equal to D plus 4. 9 plus 4 is 13. But C cannot be 13. 13 is too large. C ka maximum value that you can take is 9. Right? So now when C is 9 and you put 9 over here, then you get 9 minus 4, D ka value 5 aata hai. Maximum that you can get. I am taking maximum possible. I tried D10, D cannot be 10. D9 try kiya, 9 minus 8 is 1. So A8 aa gaya, very good. Then, but C aapka 13 aa gaya. And C is 13, so therefore now maximum value of C that I can take is obviously 9, then D becomes 5. Now when D becomes 5, then A becomes 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. And then I can use, I have B that is missing. So A is 4, C is 9, that's 13. Therefore, B ka value 1 aa chuka hai. Right? For this particular case that we have found, the largest possible number implies we are getting, by putting in the values into the first equation, B is equal to 1. Okay? So you now have your number as A is 4, B is 1, C is 9 and D is 5. 4195 is your answer. Good question. Good question. Yeah. Special equations. Special equations. Interesting. Okay. So that now tells me, it reminds me that over here you have 4 variables. So far the questions that we were doing, आपके जितने equations थे उतने variables थे, right? You had 1 equation, 1 variable. You had 2 equations, 2 variables. You had 3 equations, 3 variables. But over here, for the first time, you had 4 variables, A, B, C, D, but only 3 equations. And these are called special equations. Let me dictate a little bit. Special equations are equations where the number of variables are more than the number of equations, and in order to solve these we must take some cases or proceed by hit and trial or do something different in order to solve them. Oh, there's a plane coming, so I hope that you all are also starting to fly high as we start this preparation. So that's the equation that is the definition. Special equations are equations where the number of variables are more than the number of equations, and in order to solve these we must take some cases or proceed by hit and trial or do something different in order to solve them. So now we are moving to the next level of questions where your variables will be more than the equations, and we should be having some good quality questions coming up in the category of special equations. All right? Yeah. Now we have a certain very small concept which has come a few times in CAT, where we will take a number and its reverse. For example, if I take a number 54, 54 is basically 5 into the tens place value, 10 plus 4. So therefore, if you wish to take a two-digit number and do some mathematics with it, for example, AB, number is n, which is AB, which is, now you will write it as 10a plus b. And then if you want to reverse it and make it BA, it becomes 10b plus a. Yeah, this is a number and its reverse, n rev. Let me make it a little neatly. The reversed number. Yeah, n rev 10b plus a. So now let us talk about sum. The first formula, sum. Let's just add both of these, number and its reverse. So 10a plus a, 11a, 10b plus b is 11b, right? So very simple concept. Number plus its reverse is 11a plus 11b, which is basically 11 times a plus b. So please write in your copy, sum of a two-digit number and its reverse is a multiple of 11 and the sum of the digits. 11 and the sum of the digits. Let's take an example. For example, let us take 37. The reverse number becomes 73. Add them up and you get 110. Let us verify, is it 11 into the sum of the digits? 11 into 3 plus 7. Yes, it is. So therefore, anytime you are given a number, you are being asked to take a two-digit number and its reverse and to add it, then you can directly use this result. You don't need to derive anything, directly use 11 times a plus b. And now let us talk about difference. Difference where I have to subtract both of these equations, but I don't know whether number is big or the reverse number is big. N is bigger or n reverse is bigger. Because difference, yeah, now let me mention here. What is difference? Difference is basically big value minus small value. Difference is a non-negative term. Difference is big value minus small value. Difference is, first point, a non-negative term. Means it cannot be negative, so it can be 0 or it can be positive. Non-negative term. So therefore it is greater than equal to 0. And in order to calculate it, you just do big value minus small value. Big value minus small value. So right now the issue is that I don't know whether n is bigger or the reverse number is bigger. So let's say the number is bigger. N is bigger than its reverse, then you will do 10a plus b minus 10b plus a, and you'll now get 10a minus a, 9a, b minus 10b is 9b, 9 times a minus b. And similarly, if your number is smaller than the reverse number, then it will be 10b plus a minus 10a plus b. And then you will get 9 times b minus a. So the question that arises is, how will we know number bada hai ki reverse bada hai? For that, you will have to search in the question. Have they given any information in this regard? If not, then you will take both the cases. So difference of a two-digit number and its reverse is a multiple of 9 and the difference of the digits. If n is bigger, you will take this result. If the reversed number is bigger, you will take this result. If you don't know, you'll take both. For example, let's take a two-digit number 59, and the reverse is of course 95, and we go for the difference. Difference will obviously be big value minus small value. 95 minus 59 is how much? 36. Basic subtraction. And then we check, we have written a certain result that it should be 9 into, now your reversed number is bigger, so 59, 95, is it equal to 9 into 9 minus 5, b minus a, which is 9 into 4. So therefore you are getting the result that the theory is suggesting, right? So we took an example, we found out the value, and we checked that it is matching with the theory concept. That's it. And in addition, let us also consider a three-digit number. A, B, C. The three-digit number will be 100A plus 10B plus C. The reversed number CBA would be 100C plus 10B plus A. Now, as you can see, if I were to add both the numbers, I will get 101A plus 20B plus 101C. And baat ye hai ki it is not giving me any kind of useful result that a question might be based on. So I will not calculate the sum of a three-digit number and its reverse. We'll directly go for difference. Because in difference, 10b will get cancelled. So if your number is bigger, n is greater than n rev, then your difference will be 100a minus a, 99a, 10b gets cancelled, and minus 99c. So 99 times a minus c. But if your number is less than the reverse number, then you will get a 99 times c minus a. So you have to search, is the number bigger or is the reverse bigger? And then choose your result and put it in. Let me take an example over here. Let's take a two-digit number 342. Now let me take the reverse number 243. And now let me subtract them. Big value minus small value. Difference. And I get how much? 142 minus 43. You get a, is this the reverse? 342 and 243. 99. Now let me verify, is it 99 times the difference of the digits A and C? 3 minus 2. Yes, it is. Let me take another example. 752. Reverse number becomes 257. Difference, big value minus small value. 752 minus 257 is how much? 495. Let me check. Is it 99 times A minus C because n is bigger? 7 minus 2. Yes, it is. So our result is verified that the difference of a three-digit number and its reverse is 99, is a multiple of 99 and the difference of the digits. But I have two possible results. So it will depend which one should I be using in my question. Yeah. All right. Let's proceed.